Hello, everybody. Welcome to BookMark Presents Ask Us Anything About LinkedIn. This is our favorite format in which we give you the floor to ask any question you have about the professional network. And I'm really happy and excited that today, apart from BookMark's team, we have a special guest, Guy Strijbosch. Welcome, Guy.
Thank you.
We're going to give you the microphone in just a minute. Let me just invite our viewers, guests to ask their question in the comments if they are watching us live or if they are listening to the podcast episode. Of course, they can ask questions for the next episode in June. You can email us at create@bookmark.bg or leave a comment somewhere in behind somewhere on our page. So I'll give the word to Alex now, who is going to introduce our special guest, the prominent LinkedIn expert, Guy.
Of course, now you should be able to hear me.
We do.
Hi from me as well. Sorry for skipping for the first time the first Friday of the month, but it was Easter last week with us, so we decided to take some vacation to travel. But here we are, stronger than ever, as people say, with a special guest, Guy Strijbosch, a LinkedIn expert I've been following for years, a guy who loves to experiment as well. This was kind of a pun since, as far as I know, Guy, many people call you Guy, and you're a great guy. So thank you once again for being our guest. And just for some context, a few weeks ago, LinkedIn introduced their premium company pages. And from the first moment that the feature was available to users, you started conducting a test trial. We love the way you're doing it. We love the results, and that's why we invited you to share some insights. So, how did this test go?
Well, thanks to start with for inviting me. Nice to be with you virtually. Well, this test didn't start just like that. I mean, I've been active on LinkedIn since 15 years now. Back in 2009, I started my journey. One of my colleagues told me, well, this is a nice platform. You should use it. I was at the time active as a marketing manager for a logistics supply chain company. And through LinkedIn, we connected with, well, loads of people on all levels. And I've been using it ever since. So whenever a new feature is being rolled out, of course, I will have to try it and test it in order to tell my clients and customers how to best use it. So it's not rolled out for my personal company page. I manage about 35 pages, and I have it on 3 pages now. So at first I thought, okay, premium company pages. We still have the discussion, should I even have a company page as a solopreneur or a small company, how to use it. So,
What's your take on this topic?
sorry?
What's your take on this topic?
Everybody should have one, solopreneur as well.
Okay.
And I use my, because they're 2 different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
You have your personal profile, I use that for relationship building, and you have your company page, I use that for sharing knowledge. And a lot of solopreneurs, small companies, they don't use their company page enough. They don't even have a logo published or things like that. So even as a solopreneur, a company page is of benefit. So what happened with company pages? They started to roll out this premium feature with a price, and we talk about the price in a minute, I guess. And people were thinking, is it worth it? And indeed, you're showing now the Dutch company page of Uno, and it's in Dutch language, but they are consultants for companies in, let's say, mergers, acquisition, when people want to sell their company, when people want to buy a company. So that's what they do. But if you scroll back upwards again to the first part of the company page, you see three things that are different from a regular premium or a regular company page. First of all, on the top right hand side, you have the gold logo showing that you are a premium company. Is it nice? Yeah. Is it worth it? I'm not too sure, because the amount you have to pay is $99.99 US dollars a month if you pay per month, and it's $69.99 if you pay annually. And once it rolled out, we all have a 30 days free trial. And whatever you're going to do, whatever you're going to do afterwards, my big advice to you is do the trial. And the reason why I'm advising this is that with all new features, LinkedIn is paying more attention to new features. So you will have some extra wings to grow your page or to get some extra visibility for your page. Having said that, if you could switch back to the page, we have this headshot with it's in Dutch, but that's your customized referral or your customized, how do they call it? Customized testimonial. So you have 80 characters to write a testimonial one of your clients has given you. And of course, this is in a different color. So again, this is also the extra visibility for your company page. And what you see at the bottom, contact us. Well, I'm having a call here. I'm going to refuse. Okay. I thought my phone was switched off. Yeah. So normally we have to click on the three dots to get this action visible. Visit my website or contact us or get a demo, things like that. So those are the three parts visually different from a standard company page. So everyone was wondering, okay, what's then behind the scenes? Because that's more interesting, I guess. The statistics, people that can the visitors that you can see. So there are 5 features, and 2 of them. Let me see, 3 of them in the background as an admin. One of them is that whenever a person engage on a company page, I'm not sure if it's a like alone, but at least a comment, you will receive an automatically sent invite to follow that company page. So it's a possibility to grow your page much faster than you normally would. And I'm not sure yet, but I believe that the invitation sent automatically will not be deducted from the 250 invites you have per calendar month from your page. So on top of that.
Just a follow-up question here.
Yeah.
Since this type of interaction with new followers and new connections for personal profiles is something that LinkedIn had introduced as well for newsletters, which kind of merged those verticals for me, especially.
Correct.
And I think I don't like this one as an approach.
Hmm.
It's strategically, uh, some people, I think it's the same with following a person versus sending them a connection request. You might not want to have a two-way uh, communication, or at least two-way relationship. uh, I might want to follow a person's newsletter, which means once a week, once a month, or every now and then when they publish something. I know it would be of high quality. It would be okay for me. Uh, but then I subscribe to their newsletter, and I start seeing their content on my feed. I don't know. This is a worse decision for me. How about the automatic invitations?
I think it's the same. It all depends on the quality of the page. It all depends on the quality of the posts. It all depends on the authenticity. It all depends on the human being behind all of these posting. Um, and well, for Scandinavian countries, for example, in Denmark, in Sweden, it's even forbidden to send automatic invitations. So you have the possibilities to switch it off. So
Mhm.
you can switch off the automatic invites to be sent out. But it's again with all things in life. It's we all have a choice. We all have a choice to follow. We all have a choice to unfollow if it's not of quality, if it's not of interest. And basically, if you're able to produce a newsletter every week, that's not for all companies. I mean, if you are a small company, you'll already have a challenge to post on your personal profile, I guess. So on top of that, your company page, for a lot of smaller companies, that would be too much, I guess. But it's one of those features they rolled out. So I'm not going to say it's right or wrong. It's a way to grow faster than you could do now. But keep in mind that people only follow company pages or people or creators if they add value.
Mm-hmm.
And we had this interview about a month and a half ago from the Dutch national LinkedIn director, Marcel Molenaar. And he gave two versions, and he talked about lean forward and lean backwards. And I'll try to explain that. When we all go to the dentist or the doctor, and in the old days we had those magazines there, those paper magazines, and most of the time it was fun reading. So with that he meant lean backwards. You don't go to LinkedIn for fun. You go to LinkedIn to get information, to be informed, and then you leave again, and that's okay. So LinkedIn, he mentioned, is a lean forward and active, or people are active on the platform. Once they're done, they go back to their ordinary job, their normal activities they perform. Um, so it's the same with company pages. It's the same with profiles. I'm not sure how you feel about the gamification and the introduction of games on LinkedIn. And again,
I'll stop you here. I'll put a stop to this. Since okay, uh, let's break the surprise. But this is how our conversation with you will end. But this will be when Teddy's turn comes. So we'll stop here for the
oh, no
gamification.
problem. No
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. What I'm curious is about the insights that your trials led you to. Uh, were you able to gain some data, some numbers that you would like to share with us?
Sure, sure. And I love to have much more data than we have now. because one of those data that LinkedIn rolled out as well was details on visitors. And that could be of interest for many company owners or people working in that company. Unfortunately, we only receive one profile per day with name and information. So every workday, no, not every workday, every day, so 7 profiles a week are shown to you as an admin, which to me is not enough. Uh, I don't know how they calculate or how they decide
Mhm.
which person is going to be shown. That's still a secret to me. But I have some contact with the product managers and directors at LinkedIn. So I'm trying to get that information in the upcoming weeks, but I haven't got it yet. So what we do see as an admin is one person per day that has visited your company page.
Well, even if we take that this is a high level intent, uh, it's still, I don't know, it's still nothing for those 70 or $100 a month. Since one of the main one of the main reasons that B2B businesses use LinkedIn and consider it better than any other platform
Mhm.
is the possibility to detect high intent, higher buyer intent.
Yeah,
Uh, and you can do this on scale. You have enough data that you can measure, that you can qualify. But one person a day, it's nothing basically.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. Um, so we have the custom testimonial we talked about. We have what they call drive page viewers to take desired action. So that's the customized button. We have the grow your page followers automatically, which can be switched off. Sorry. And then see who's visited your page. See up to 7 eligible members who visited your page each week to unlock new business. And the last one is get help from AI to draft page posts. Well, I'm not a big fan of AI for creating posts. Well, that's my point of view. So the most interesting would be growing your following and seeing who's visited your page. But if it's one a day, that's not enough to do the trick to get my attention and to pay 69.99 US dollar or 99 if I pay only for 1 month. What I do suggest is for everyone to take the trial, the free trial for 30 days, because as we all know, with all features, LinkedIn is paying some extra attention to those new features. So it would be a good chance to get extra attention for your page for free for at least 30 days.
Mhm.
So that basically would be my advice to all of you.
Uh, I'm switching once again to screen sharing
Yeah.
since under your initial LinkedIn post you've shared some test results.
Mhm.
Uh, I think we can go through them.
So I think the biggest one was the following growth. Um, when I look at the analytics now, it was well 870 or 900 following page, and they're now at 1040 about. So that was the biggest change for this company page. And they were active already for a bit with content on their page. Um,
Were you using the invitations, those 250 you already
no,
mentioned?
no, they didn't. Um, And the problem with and that's basically an answer, I guess, to the question: should it be, or is it the correct feature for bigger companies or smaller companies? This is a company with well 15 people, just about. So a small company with one person responsible for marketing, and especially in this type of business with consultancy, well, we talk about people my age, 60. Well, I'm going to be 60 in 2 months and over. So not that active on LinkedIn. And her network isn't that qualified to invite. So it's a matter of the directors, the member, of the partners of the company to be active with inviting. And we're just starting up with this company. I've just conducted my second session of training for this company. So we're at the beginning of their journey. But in growing their company, they've been successful, I guess.
Yeah, this is the about the chicken and the egg. Uh,
Yeah.
do we need LinkedIn where when we've already established our business, or we need LinkedIn to even create our business? So unfortunately,
It's not a sprint. It's not a marathon. It's an endurance race.
yeah.
I mean, if you're active for just now, and I ask you, can you publish 5 articles this week? That will be a challenge. But the bigger challenge will be, can you do that next week as well? And
Mhm.
so my advice always is people have to find their own rhythm they can, well, keep up for the upcoming period.
Yeah. Thank you for your time, Guy. Now I'm
You're welcome.
giving the microphone to Teddy to ask you the last question, even though you've already kind of asked it yourself. Uh, yeah, and you're welcome to stay with us, but we will understand if you want to proceed with your day-to-day stuff.
So the last question that Alex said wasn't actually a question; it was more of a challenge. But I'm glad that the conversation went there, because I was going to tell you that I'm actually planning on challenging you to a game on LinkedIn over the weekend, and I was wondering whether you have already started exploring the gaming on LinkedIn, and basically, how do you feel about it? Because you and I, we are different generations, not just as people, but also as professionals. So for me, LinkedIn adding games to the platform is such a nice thing. I like it and I love it. And mm, the one of the things that I particularly like about this is that you actually get to learn things because they're logical puzzles, and also that you can measure up with others from your first degree connections. So, what is your thought on this, on the gamification in LinkedIn?
It's a bit two-way street to me. Um, at first, when I heard the explanation behind, well, the reason why LinkedIn decided to start games, I said, well, it's true. People who have fun perform better as a team. If you are in a company and you have fun together, you perform better. Absolutely true. Spot on. But then I was wondering, okay, if I would be a managing director for a company and I came into the room and you were playing games on LinkedIn, what would I think? So it will bring a new discussion between all people involved. And on the other hand, we're not a team, we're two different companies. Um, if you are a solopreneur, what's the benefit of playing games on LinkedIn? You can learn. Okay, I agree. But I think it was about 10 years ago, Volkswagen Passat had a game on LinkedIn. And what they did, it was beautiful. It was a boxing ring where I was boxing against my relationship, my connections. But it involved, so how many connections do I have? How many connections do you have? How many experience
Mhm.
parts have you filled in? So it was to improve our personal profile, uh, complete or having it complete. And to me, that was a nice game. But we all know games are addictive. And I guess that's one reason why LinkedIn is starting this trial by having people stay longer on the platform, which is okay. Some people mentioned perhaps it's for attracting younger people to the platform. That could be a reason. Here it is. This was it. And it was fun. Wow. How did you get this that quickly? Uh, but it wasn't repeated by any other company afterwards. And I think again, gamification of a platform is a great way to grow and to get commitment, to get people involved in the platform. But the way they rolled it out just now with these three games, it's not exactly my cup of tea. So I'm going to accept your challenge, but I'm not sure it will last a very, very long time. Um, what I do like as a challenge is that people become human on this platform.
Mhm.
Don't chase vanity metrics like my reach went down. I mean, it's just a momentum. It's for me the most important part is reaching the right target people, the clients I would love to work with. I don't have to reach the whole world. Um, I would like to have my message come across, but not to each and every one. So that's the same for having. I mean, once you start inviting a person, and how many messages have you sent afterwards? We can download those data, and I'm surprised that a lot of people just stop at being connected.
Yeah.
For me, it starts there.
I actually have the same thinking, and when Alex and I, when we are having LinkedIn trainings, we always stress the point of having a good network, not necessarily a large network, because um, you can have a very large network that you don't know, and you can have a very tight ship of people who know you, who want to talk to you, and ultimately people who inspire you. This is actually something that I like about games on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
and this might seem a bit out of left field for you, but the way LinkedIn developed these games is that they took something that we as users we know from other places. We know it from New York Times. We know it from other places. These sort of logical puzzles, but they made it tougher, basically more complicated. I've read a lot of reviews, and I also spoke in detail with one of our teammates, Daria, who is our bookmark resident games expert. She is quite knowledgeable on all sorts of games, very, very complicated games with backstories. And everyone agreed that LinkedIn actually took something very simple and in typical LinkedIn fashion complicated it in order to actually challenge users. And the limit that you can't, the games on LinkedIn are not like other games. You can't just stay there and play for the entirety of your workday. And I think this concern that you mentioned as a manager, that oh, my employees, my teammates, they can just go to LinkedIn to only play games. This is actually something that I think the creators thought about, and they were cautious about this. But I like the fact that you get to maybe break the fourth wall with someone else by playing a game and by
Yeah.
competing.
I think in my my generation, the old-fashioned manager, they would like to see you at the office. And
Mm.
for me, the most important part is not just sitting at the office; it's being productive, and the end result that counts. So if you need games to refresh, we all know we are most creative when we go outside to take a walk, to take a shower, to get bright ideas at those times, not when doing our daily tasks at our desks. So in that sense, I understand games could be of benefit.
Definitely. Also, I there is this. I'm gonna use this as a gateway to pass the subject to Diliana, because we were talking this morning about reports from for AI that can help to improve the workplace, but also about LinkedIn's new report on how employees feel. They were talking a lot about burnout. And I don't know if you've seen the data there, but there were actually evidence that people want to start looking for jobs that bring them to the office, which is quite different
Mm.
than what we are now thinking. Oh, nobody wants to work in the office. I guess it's what you're saying. We're returning back to the way that we want to actually be able to shout out across the room and say, okay, guys, let's go to the balcony, let's go to the park together, and let's have a discussion there. Let's move the brainstorming outside of Zoom and Teams and
I'm
other places.
absolutely
So,
convinced that we human beings, we need skin. We are we we love being together. I mean, the period that we all were on Zoom calls or Teams during COVID, it brought people together in a sense, because for me, I got to work with clients in New Zealand and Brazil, which normally I wouldn't do that easily. But on the other hand, we want to meet and be with people and be in the same room together. So it's finding the balance now of working remote, because we don't have to be in the office each and every day. But sometimes it's nice to be together and to look each other in the eyes face to face, instead of looking at the camera as we're doing now.
well, even though I'm looking at the camera to you right now, I'm very happy that you joined us, and I wonder what Didi has to say about the new generation of working with the AI on LinkedIn and in our jobs as well.
Thanks, guys. Um, well, we already mentioned AI. It would be a surprise if we don't mention AI in any kind of conversation today. I'm going to give you some data about a report which just a few days ago, LinkedIn and Microsoft got out. It was titled AI at Work is Here, Now Comes the Hard Part. And it gives us some interesting data. The research was based on a survey of 31,000 people across 31 countries. And we see some interesting data there in terms of behavior of employees, not only behaviors, but beliefs and different approaches they apply, and also those of team leaders. So one of the things that the study gives out is that, not surprisingly, but most knowledge workers, 75%, use AI at work today, and 46% are have started using it in the last 6 months. One of the interesting for me things was that what people do, not only Gen Z, but baby boomers and actually all other generations, they bring their own AI tools, the ones they have spotted somewhere, they have heard about them, and they bring them to work. And this was not initiated by their employers, which is a curious thing, because leaders also say that they realize that AI is the something they can't pass, but still they haven't implemented different trainings for their employees. Another thing that we see is that users say that AI helps them save time. This is 90% focus on their most important work, 85% be more creative, 84%, and enjoy their work more. I agree with Guy, who said that he doesn't prefer using AI for writing posts, but that would, at least I interpret it in terms of relying 100% on using AI for writing posts. This means adding no value, no personalization. This is not acceptable for me as well. And we see a lot of such content on LinkedIn, and not only. And it's quite obvious that it's produced by AI, not thinking about the essence of the topic, not adding anything from you, and that's useless. I totally agree with that. But we can't cast AI in terms of adding more creative ideas in our arsenal of already generated ideas. So the second insight from that report is for employees. While employees fear job loss due to AI, actually employers are worrying that they can't fill roles. And that's interesting, because it's paradoxical in some sense. And although some 2/3 of the leaders wouldn't hire someone who doesn't have AI skills today, only less than half of them, about 40% of users, as I said, have gained some training in using AI, and obviously that's a field where leaders need to think more how they would train their team and what tools they're going to give them in a general framework, so that they are well equipped in their work. We also have seen a major increase in LinkedIn members globally adding AI skills like ChatGPT or Copilot to their profiles. So we see the rise of interest in that respect as well, and also in terms of hiring talents. And when it comes to industries, that's another surprise we see here. One would suggest that marketing and creative industries are using AI more, but according to the report, administrative and support services, real estate and retail lead the way. So they are even ahead of the tech industry. And the last thing that I want to mention as a curious thing from that report is the rise, the way, we see the chart here with different roles or leading in terms of using AI. And the last thing is that those quote power AI users are saving at least 30 minutes a day using AI, which means that actually I was surprised. I thought that people would say they save more time, but 30 minutes is not something to miss. And again, saving time, boosting creativity, and adding value to the ideas one has is something that AI adds a lot. So these are some of the findings. Of course, there are a lot more data, a lot more numbers, which can be helpful to team leaders. And I encourage you to have a check on that report. We'll leave a link in the comments. Here is the moment again to invite people to ask questions in the comments, either to us or to Guy, who is still with us. And since there are no questions at the moment, I will ask Emo to give us some more data. Today we are report-oriented, statistics-oriented.
I was waiting for my time to shine and to actually speak. It was quite overwhelming, 40 minutes for me. I was joking. As we spoke about data in the last couple of minutes, I'm going to pretty much continue the path we have undergone. Recently, I have found some interesting statistics and analysis from Metricool, and I have basically picked some of the key findings that are present within the report, and I'm going just to share with you, and probably we can have a bit of a discussion over some of the topics and the data. The first one, and basically not surprising anyone, I believe, is that over half of the LinkedIn users, it goes to almost 52%, are aged between 25 and 34 years. This pretty much summarizes why some companies probably succeed on LinkedIn and some don't, as it's really important to really think about the people you are writing to, think about your audiences, whether you are actually reaching your right audiences, and if you are not really engaging your audiences with the content you're creating. For example, if if the audiences prefer shorter format of text posts, more images, more visuals, and you're pretty much going with articles on LinkedIn, this can be one of the pain points why there is such difference in between reality and expectations. Um, when it goes to the second statistic that was summarized, is that 40% of the LinkedIn users engage organically with a page on the platform each week. As mentioned earlier, this can be once again explained due to the fact that probably the companies and the business pages doesn't really necessarily create compelling content for their audiences, but more likely they don't have really a target audience that they're aiming to. The third, and probably one of the most surprising facts for me, especially considering the topics we have covered earlier, is that the LinkedIn Premium subscribers have increased with 25% in the last year. This is quite overwhelming for me, as 25%, considering that uh, at LinkedIn has 1 billion users. Like, we don't know how many people have subscribed initially, but 25% for a single year is really a big change, and I would expect a similar percentage in the amount of premium company pages subscriptions, honestly, as it's a new feature now, and probably everyone would be looking forward to investigate how they can implement and use it within their full range. Uh, Going directly to the LinkedIn pages, it's important to get some information and some data on how the posts and the content itself is overall performing on LinkedIn, and the media metrical summarizes that overall for overall performance on LinkedIn, LinkedIn pages with completed brand information receive 30% more weekly views than a page that doesn't have anything and much information filled in. So basically, an advice for you: if you really want to shine and to reach all the audiences and all the potential you can, just fill in everything possible within your page, but don't do it just for the sake of it. Do it effectively and do it precisely. And last but not least, something interesting I have managed to find is that brands on LinkedIn have increased their posting frequency by 10% in the last year, with 18 LinkedIn posts on average per month. This means that if we do the calculations, previously in 2022 and 23 actually, the average LinkedIn page posted in between 14 to 15 posts weekly, and now it's like 18, which is interesting that the content is rising, but the question is the quality remaining at the same? Because it's not always up to um, quantity, it's about quality, and the increase should not be visible and present if there is less quality impacted on the content. And of course, I cannot finish this brief summary without some data on advertising. Um, the, the data that was present and that was pretty much applicable for the short time I have now is that advertising on LinkedIn leads to averagely 2 to 3 times more sales on LinkedIn. And considering everything I have said, that there is more posting, there is there are more premium subscribers. You can have higher engagement and impressions if you have everything filled in. It's really important to summarize that if you really want to get the full potential from LinkedIn, it's important to make a mix in between organic, meaning content that is not boosted or promoted through LinkedIn, and some promoted content, so you can engage with your current audiences and potentially uh, find and explore new audiences on the platform itself. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on the insights I have just mentioned? Do you agree with something? Do you disagree with something? For example, for me, the most shocking part was the increase in subscriptions in terms of premium profiles. Alex, I'm curious, as you have such profile, do you find it actually useful for your goals and your purposes, or?
Um,
Can I slowly interrupt because I'm going to leave in a moment.
but
Uh,
we
Sure.
want to
I
see,
just would
we
like
want
to
to hear
thank
what you think. Yeah.
yeah, and I would like to thank you for all your insights and good work on having LinkedIn more successful all over the world. So I will speak soon to all of you, I guess, and good luck with your LinkedIn lives. And well, wonderful meeting you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guy.
Okay.
And since Guy asked us in the private chat we have on the platform we're using, whether we have such data about uh, the ages on LinkedIn here in Bulgaria. In fact, on every 3 months we create different reports, especially for Bulgaria. But since the Digital Markets Act um, in fact, started acting in the beginning of March, and most of the users hadn't yet verified their ages, hadn't confirmed uh,
Mhm.
they agree their personal data to be collected. So we saw pretty strange numbers, pretty strange figures regarding the age diversity. So for the last issue of the report, we didn't include this data.
Okay. Well, once again, interesting talking to you, meeting you all, and I guess we will speak soon. Have a
Yes.
great day.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Guy.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
So Alex, I think that you are about to share your opinion on a LinkedIn Premium subscription. Is it useful? Do you find it necessary? Do you find it a must probably on LinkedIn?
No, it's definitely not a must, not for everybody. But if you are on LinkedIn to sell, whether it's a product or service, you need this feature. Uh, I think the price is considerably low for the quality and the added value everyone receives. You receive access to basically, well, not all of the users, but more than 80% of LinkedIn's users worldwide. You can see who they are, where they are positioned, um, and all the data that LinkedIn has on them, you receive access to this. I'm not sure why it's just 80%, meaning if you uh, make an audience targeting on LinkedIn's ad platform campaign manager, you see that you can reach over 1 billion people on LinkedIn. But if you conduct a search on Sales Navigator, you see only, I don't know, maybe 820 million people. So there is some data missing, but nevertheless, uh, you can find all the people you need. Most of the time, you can do the same uh, with the basic LinkedIn profiles, even though during the last couple of years, LinkedIn have started restricting the basic users. You have limited number of searches. You have limited data you can see about the people you're trying to connect. So yes, it's not becoming a must, but it's becoming a good to have feature. Plus, once again, and I think that Guy also mentioned this one. Some people, or maybe even too many people, keep considering LinkedIn as yet another social platform, and they keep, um, I don't know, keep thinking, okay, I can do this on Facebook, I can do this on Instagram, comparing it to performance marketing channels, which LinkedIn is not. So it's a long game here, and it requires a lot of time to invest. You cannot come to LinkedIn with a lot of money and expect results. No, it requires time. It requires um, a lot of attention, let's say, and it's the only way you can build trust.
That's great to hear. And actually, something funny. As you were speaking, and because I'm on two screens, you mentioned that Guy was agreeing with something, and on the other screen, like the live stream is a bit slower, and he was just nodding with his head, like he's still around us here. So yeah, thank you for the insights for the LinkedIn Premium subscriptions. It was really important to highlight the importance and to
Yeah,
highlight
as
why
you know, when we are on trainings, we it takes at least a couple of hours to go through the premium stuff on LinkedIn, of how to use uh, Sales Navigator, or how to do social selling with or without Sales Navigator. So yeah, it's just the tip of the iceberg.
definitely. We don't have any questions, unfortunately, at this time.
Well, that's a
People are
first.
still sorry.
That's a first for the format.
Yeah, but people are probably still in their Easter mood, so it's quite relatable. But anyway, if you have any questions from this point onwards, don't hesitate to ask us either on private chat or in the comment section. Even after the live stream, we are always open to answer. And you can pick from the four of us. You can message anyone else from the agency. Everyone is looking forward to help, actually.
And maybe I'm thinking of a couple of announcements for now, since we've mentioned the market overview reports. If you live in a certain company, a certain market, and you're interested in the way LinkedIn operates there, just send us a message. We're preparing LinkedIn marketing overviews, market overviews, sorry, for a few markets currently. But if you want to see such details for your country, just send us a message. Plus, I really, really hope that until the next episode of Ask Us Anything About LinkedIn, which is, I don't know when, this is usually this part. So I really hope that by then we'll have access to company page, premium company pages to conduct some sort of a test trial ourselves and to be able to share some data with you.
Yep, the worst scenario for asking your question is to do it on the 7th of June, which is the date of our next episode of Ask Us Anything About LinkedIn. Probably if you're on Easter mode now, in June you'll be in summer mode already, hopefully. Let's see what the weather hides for us. But anyway, thanks for listening to us or watching us. Stay safe and see you soon. Bye bye, everybody.
See ya.